Hello, CyberBeak students. This is Nathan O'Neill. I'm working with you guys this year a little bit on some design thinking principles as it deals with your support on the CyberBeak Squad and how we can help the school thrive with their technology. We're going to use a methodology of design thinking that comes from the Stanford D School, where we talk about the idea of having empathy for people, learning the process of understanding, asking questions, so that therefore we can define problems. After we define problems that we see in the tech world around campus, we're going to spend some time ideating and creating some solutions that then we will prototype and put out into the world. It'll get further testing. We'll be able to share out and show some things that have happened around the school. If you have a connection with Studio D at Westwood, they use a 5-frame model for design thinking as well, which is gather, glean, generate, gauge, and go, which in some ways is very similar to the format of the design school from Stanford. So why is it important for us to start with this empathy work? Well, really, we have our own ideas of things, what we think problems are, and our own brain, our own experiences, which is cool. But the problem is, if we're designing for other people, we want to find things that make them feel like we've really answered their questions, we've really solved their problems, we've really given them a sense of joy using technology in a way that they maybe didn't before. So it's very important for us to spend some time learning from the faculty, the staff, and the students at Westwood to make sure we really understand what are the most important things for us to focus on to ensure that we're solving problems that people really care about. So trying to do my empathy work, I read all of the input you guys put on Google Classroom about what kind of things you guys might want to be working on as a part of the CyberBeak Squad. Chromebook care and safety was a very big one. Using tech tools like ClearTouch, Google Classroom, the ones we kind of already have, was a big thrust. Finding ways for communication and marketing, kind of like newsletters, mobile apps potentially, was another idea. And then the fourth one I think would be summarized by future tools, talking about cybersecurity stuff, artificial intelligence, other sorts of categories. So from your thoughts, these may be 4 good realms for us to really spend some time in as we help people around Westwood. But exactly if these are the perfect ones, we don't know yet. And that's why we're going to use the Figma workspace to spend some time after we do our interviews with teachers, staff, and students to see if we can cluster around 3 or 4 big ideas that we can be working on this year to help out. So I've jumped over to the Fig Jam that we're using this year. You'll see at the top is the place where you guys are putting in some information about yourselves, your background, things you care about, things you're good at. I see that's coming along. We'll use this middle section later on as we might need. But the focus of this little talk here is the how might we statements are at the very bottom of the Fig Jam, which is what we use to cluster around the 3 or 4 solutions of things and the categories of things you guys really want to be focusing on this year. So after you've taken some time to interview some staff, students, and faculty, you'll come back to this question around the how might we statement. We want to create these questions that are solution-oriented, optimistic, and collaborative as we work on our teams together. The how might we statement could be phrased in a way similar to this. We could say, how might we do some kind of action on some kind of thing for whom? We want to make sure we know the people we're designing for in order to change something. So we don't know exactly what it is we're going to change yet. We want to make sure we have that in the statement as well. So how might we do some kind of action for whom so that we can change whatever it is we decide we want to solve on. Back to the Fig Jam, you'll see the how might we statement with your template and a couple of examples of too broad, too narrow, and a just right. Beside of that, you'll have a place to try to write in your question for the how might we. And when we get done with that, what we'll do is slide down here into our solutioning section. It's really easy to try to start ideating and prototyping before you do this empathy and define work, but that's why we're slowing down a little bit to make sure we're answering the right questions so that when we do ideate and prototype, our solutions are really going to be the things that people really need. Thanks for listening, guys.